Hi there, it's Claire here with today's step from stress and anxiety to inner peace. And I've forgotten to put my glasses on, so I'm going to put them on now. There we go. So I thought today, as I've shared an awful lot of content over the last few weeks, I thought I would share a little bit about how I actually help people, because I thought that might be useful to the people out there to hear a little bit more about that. And I guess a little bit about my journey to help people in a different way. So until the earlier part of this year, I used hypnotherapy to help the same group of people really who I help now. So I help people around stress and anxiety and fears and phobias, and a little bit around weight. And then I came upon the understanding that I've been sharing with you in these videos, and it's completely changed my entire perspective on life. Just for me, by understanding how my experience has been created, understanding that we think and not getting too much caught up in what we think, has really allowed me to move to a much more peaceful place. And people who've known me for a while have even said that I look different, I seem more peaceful, and I definitely feel it. And there was no way on this planet that I could not bring that into the way I help people, because I saw what it did for me, and I've seen what it's done for lots of other people. And I now see myself as a guide. So this is nothing against the coaches out there, but I didn't quite see myself as a coach. The language doesn't, I'm still playing with it a bit, but the language doesn't quite fit in that it's not results orientated. You will get better results from having this understanding. There's no two ways about it, but it's not results orientated like coaching often is. It's about facilitating your insights into how your human operating system really works. And therefore, seeing myself as a guide it makes more sense to me. And there's a lot of things that are really different for me in terms of how I spend time with people. So I still, when permitted, see people in person, but I mostly have these conversations over Zoom, which is lovely because a lot of people didn't like to do hypnotherapy over Zoom for some reason. Anyway, that's what I found. It might not be true. It might be just thought. So it allows me to work via video, via Zoom, or other mediums of that nature are available, of course. And how it works when I spend, so the first thing I do is I spend an hour with somebody with no charge, so that complimentary discovery session that I'm sure you can find somewhere in wherever you're watching this video, or just message me if you can't, I will send you it. And in that session, what's different to that compared to perhaps a hypnotherapy discovery session is that I spend time actually helping somebody. So hypnotherapy discovery session was very much more about finding the information to see if I could help somebody to design the package to create something bespoke for them that I thought was right to take them on their journey. Whereas when people spend that first hour with me, now there is always something new for them to experience in terms of how they perceive the world. And that's just lovely to, and I've given lots of those hours away to people, and it's had an effect. It's helped them, which is just wonderful. So what happens in that hour, you might be wondering? Well, what happens is that I turn up and you turn up and we see what comes. So there is nothing on my mind. And that for me is the joy of working with people like this, is that I enter into a conversation with somebody. We talk about the nature of human experience, and I get to guide people back home. I get to guide people back to the truth of who they really are. And that's just wonderful. And for me, when I used to do other therapeutic stuff, hypnotherapy, NLP, that kind of thing, I was often caught up in my head trying to work out what the next step would be for that person, trying to work out what strategy I could use, trying to work out what metaphor I might use, what NLP technique, whatever it was. There was a lot on my mind. And now the joy of this experience is that I just get to show up with nothing on my mind. I get to be present in the moment, and that's where I love to be. As you've seen, if you watch any of my other videos, I believe that's the place, well, it is the place where human beings function at their best. So I know I'm functioning at my best with nothing on my mind. And I get to listen. And that makes me feel a little bit emotional. I just get to listen to what people have got on their minds. And often with the people I'm helping who may be very stressed and anxious and have a lot of overwhelm and overthinking, a lot of busyness going on in their heads. It's often not much that I say in that first conversation, because for a lot of people, just having a chance to just get it all out. And then I just guide them to the truth. I guide them to where that experience is coming from. I help them to see something different in that hour that we spend together. And it is an absolute pleasure to do that, to just be with another human, just listen to that other person, and hopefully just help to take something off their minds. Because I think a lot of therapeutic modalities these days just put extra things on people's minds. So if it's counselling, we're talking about the past and bringing up the past and putting the past back into our minds, which, let's face it, that's the only place it exists now, doesn't it? Because the past is gone and it can only exist in our minds. Or there's tools and techniques and things to remember. I love Jamie Smart describes this as subtractive psychology, and I just love that, because my job when I spend time with you is to take some things off your mind, to help you to let go of some things that are on your mind. And there is nothing better for me than that. It is just to help people take things off their minds. We live in an extremely busy world, like physically busy world, physically busy circumstances. But a tremendous amount of our busyness is coming from what's on our minds, the created stuff that we have inside our minds. And I help people to let go of some of that. And that's where the joy is. And the joy of literally seeing a light bulb going on above somebody's head is just beautiful. There is nothing like that. Like, often it isn't like a light bulb. Often it's more like a, oh God, the head slap kind of. I see now, somebody sees what they've been doing, what they've been creating, the perceptions they've been bringing into their lives that are just not true. That moment when somebody feels something new that's coming from inside them, feels the new truth, it's just wonderful. And the other thing that is so joyous about this is that when I worked previously with people, I would see in front of me a poorly person, a mentally unwell person, somebody with a condition like anxiety, depression, those kind of things, the things that I've struggled with too. And now in front of me, I always see a well person, because that innate wellness, that innate well-being, that source of who we really are is always there. It's always there. It's just that sometimes some thinking takes us away from that. And just helping people to see themselves as whole and not broken and not needing fixing, that just fills me. And in fact, quite often, I know I'm a bit of a crier anyway. Anybody who watched my videos will have seen that. But I will sometimes just fill up during sessions when I see their realization that they're okay. That person's realization that they are not broken, despite years and years of trying to fix themselves, trying to find something to make themselves better. Seeing somebody have that realization that they are not broken, that they're only a thought away from being perfect and whole, or refinding that perfect wholeness that's already there. That is just, it's just amazing to be able to help people to do that. So I just thought it was about time I shared something about the journey. So spending time with me starts with that discovery session. It then invariably goes into a coaching package that we design and come up with. And alongside all my coaching packages is access to content that flows through that. So there's videos and things you get emailed along the way. So you keep in the conversation and keep that drip, because this is an understanding that it isn't something you just hit people with. It definitely has a beautiful drip approach. So some of the videos that I have done here, they get curated into an email lesson. Like, I keep saying funnel, it's not a funnel, just a set of emails that people receive while they're spending time with me, that go on after we've spent time together. And that works too for groups. So, you know, businesses that need that kind of help, I can help with that too. And I also have just created a fab little course. So I'll probably put the link to that in the comments, but it's called First Steps to Inner Peace, because it is the first steps you can take towards relieving that stress and anxiety, because you don't have to stay feeling like that. And I will pop the link to that online for you to see. And it's just £27 to access that, so it's quite cool. I've made it that way because I want to help as many people as possible, not because it isn't extremely valuable. So there we go, an actual promo video. Wowzers, I haven't done one of those, but I thought I should, because I feel like I'm not telling people how I can help them, and that seems a bit of a gap in what I've been doing. So I hope today you find a little bit of peace in your lives, and thank you so much for watching. Absolutely take care, and I will talk to you again soon. Thank you.